Hi everyone, this week we decided to cover controversial topics within the pregnancy and fertility world, and so I decided to cover the Thomas Beatie story, who is the world's first pregnant man. But the truth of the matter is that he's not, or was not, a pregnant man. He was a transgendered man, who still had all his female parts. So, but anyways, at first when I heard about this story, was actually when he was on Oprah, and at first, I was like, God, here this, man can get pregnant, and I can't. And so I guess that was my jealous ways about that. But the more and more I thought about it, I didn't really have such a big problem with it. Now, one of the big things that I did have a problem with is the fact that they did make it into such a big media circus, because now, and during his pregnancy, they were getting death threats, and I believe they had to move out of their home, and because they were afraid for their life. Now, up until the time that he revealed his pregnancy, all of the neighbors, he said, in The Advocate, he's quoted as saying, he said, "To our neighbors, my wife Nancy and I don't appear in the least unusual. To those in the quiet Oregon community where we live, we are viewed just as we are, a happy couple, deeply in love. Our desire to work hard, buy our first home, and start a family was nothing out of the ordinary. That is, until we decided that I would carry our child." And he goes on to say, "I am a transgender, legally male, and legally married to Nancy, his wife. Unlike those in same-sex marriages, domestic partnerships, or civil unions, Nancy and I are afforded the more than 1,100 federal rights of marriage," whatever that means. "Sterilization is not a requirement for sex reassignment, so I decided to have chest reconstruction and testosterone therapy, but kept my reproductive rights. Wanting to have a biological child is neither a male nor female desire, but a human desire." Now, he is right there. I even asked my husband, who was born a man, I asked him, I said, if it were possible for you to, become pregnant and carry a child for us, would you do that? And he said, yeah, because it's true. Like Thomas says here, wanting to have a biological child is neither a male or female desire, but a human desire. And it's totally true. But the thing is, that kind of irks me about it, she, back in the day when she was a woman, she chose to, go through all this process, getting her breasts removed, living as a man, getting married, and taking testosterone, growing a beard and all this stuff to live as a man. But men don't have babies, so, what was the point, I guess? Now, he also said, on Oprah, he says, and this is a quote from the show, "I actually opted not to do anything to my reproductive organs because I wanted to have a child one day. I see pregnancy as a process, and it doesn't define who I am." He's wrong about that, because pregnancy is not a process. But I guess that's a male view of it, I guess. But anyways, like I said, at first I did have a problem with it, but then, I really didn't, after a while, after I got over my jealous bout, because, myself personally, I believe in gay rights and transgendered people's rights. I think they should have just as much as rights as I do. Just because, I'm a straight Christian person doesn't mean that, you know, I have a problem with or don't think that they should have as much as rights as we do, because I do. They're human just like we are, and they should not be, they should have the same rights that we have. From what I understand, Beatie was impregnated with sperm from a donor. His wife, Nancy, inseminated him at home with the device she said was like a syringe without the needle. They bought it from a veterinarian, and it is typically used to feed birds. Well, I guess whatever you gotta do to get pregnant, right? I mean, shoot, I would do the same thing, you know, but then again, I'm not a woman trying to live as a man either. You know, but, you know, they wanted to have a biological child. But it's not his wife's biological child, it's his biological child and the sperm donor. So, I mean, they could have adopted. You know, they were legally married, so what was to stop them from adopting? I don't know. But anyways, that's about all I got to say about this topic. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.